Hi, welcome back to Lakeside Quilt Making Arts. Guess what we're doing today? We are eclipse watching. There's just a little tiny crescent of the sun visible right now, and it's the coolest thing in the world. Come a little closer, let's talk. I got some things to talk about. Hey my friends, you know what we're talking about today besides the eclipse? That's what we're here for. Out here. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. We're talking about the Piece Quilt Sampler that is being done by Fat Quarter Shop, and who else is doing this one? Let me get a battery on you. All right, I got a battery pack on the phone so we can do this hopefully without losing battery. And yep, I think our eclipse, we've already seen the maximum obstruction because it seems a lot brighter out here now. I think it's awesome to be out here listening to the birds while the celestial skies do their thing. Oh, I'm not supposed to look at it, am I? I tried putting my camera up to this lens and it just saw a big orange blob. It didn't really discern any distinction like we see when we look through these things. So back to the Piece Quilt Sampler. I decided that it was going to be my Tuesday and Friday project, and I am just thrilled about it. Of course, it doesn't start till next week. I think it starts next Monday, maybe the 15th. Is that what it is? Tax day. But I wanted to be fully prepared, so I washed my fabrics this past weekend. I think I started yesterday on doing that. Washed and dried them. Today I'm going to get them ironed and folded up nice and neat and give some thought to my placement of color with my quilt, because fortunately I have the book Celebrate with Quilts by Lisa Alexander and Susan Aki, and in that book is everything you need to know about making this quilt. So you can move ahead if you need to, you can do whatever on your time, but others are going to be teaching it too. Kimberly Jolly and who all else have I heard said they're going to do it? Sherry McConnell and Pat Sloan, and gee, I think there was somebody else who recently said they were doing it too, and I can't remember who it was. So several people are doing it, and you'll get to follow along and see what they're doing and learn from them. And I just really enjoy that part of any of the community sharing, which is partly why I'm doing this YouTube channel. So I'll get my fabrics all pressed and folded and ready and start giving some thought to my color placement. I know which block we're going to be starting on first, and I'll give some thought to how I want the overall quilt to look, which I already have. I've talked about that already. I want this moody midnight oceanic view is kind of what I'm looking for, because the friend I'm giving it to doesn't really do color, but she likes a little moodiness in her any color that she does introduce. And I say that only because I know when I first saw her house, after she renovated it, there was a little bit of a moody blue in her bed. I forget if it was a blanket or sheets or something. I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of color, so I'm gonna pick blue. I'm gonna just make the whole thing moody. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if I know that, and then I'm looking at this quilt sample, and I'm looking at the coloring sheet for this quilt, and then I am going to be looking at this one individual block, it'll give me some direction on which fabrics to cut out. Come on, Zozo, lay down, honey. Lay down. She does not want to rest. I'll have some direction on which fabrics I want to put together for these first blocks. I forget how many there are. I know I think it's like 12 of these first blocks, and I don't even remember what it is right now. I'll put that on the screen. And maybe I can get started on cutting those. If I get everything folded and pressed today, maybe I can get started on cutting this on Friday, and then have everything ready so that when we get started on the 15th, I am ready to go. But my videos will be released on Tuesdays and Fridays for Piece Quilt Sampler, and it's supposed to last all the way through February of next year. So this is going to be a doozy. I've seen Pat Sloan introduce a new sew-along that she's doing, and I wish I had bandwidth for it too. Blockheads, the Blockheads quilt-along or sew-along is supposed to last until July. So when that one ends, I'll be able to pick up something else. Of course, once you finish those quilt tops, does not mean all of a sudden you have all the time in the world, because you got to get those things actually quilted, right? So I don't know how I'm going to address that. We'll worry about that another day. Because there's also a vacation or two that I want to throw into my year, and I've got to have another surgery. But it's not huge. It'll just probably make me kind of probably slow me down pretty good for 10, 14 days, something like that, and then I'll bounce back. It's not a big deal, but it is travel again and that kind of thing, and all that's just straining. So just a day in the hospital, not a week, and it doesn't affect mobility or anything like that, so I'll bounce back pretty quickly. But there's just a lot of things to consider as far as the schedule goes. Right now, we're going to focus on what we're doing here in April, and it is April 8th on Eclipse Day. So cool. So I wanted to do something special today because it was the eclipse. I wanted to plant a magnolia tree. And I went by Home Depot really quick after this interview that I did earlier today with Stacy Hauk. Home Depot didn't have any of the magnolia trees. Well, they had one, and it wasn't the kind I wanted, and it was like $155. I can't dig a hole that big. I don't need to dig. I probably could, but it would be really hard on me, and I don't need to do anything that stresses my body. So I'm just going to buy a small magnolia, put in something small, and watch it grow over the years, which I'll take great delight in. So I didn't get to buy my magnolia tree, but I came home, and where I had selected for it to be, I went ahead and started digging in the hole. So today, on the eclipse day, I'm going to prepare for my magnolia tree. And I had been placing this large gardening container out in the yard in different places. I'd watch it from different windows in the house, and then I'd watch and see where I wanted the tree. So I've selected the spot, and I just went out and started digging the hole. Like, okay, at least on the eclipse day, April 8th of 2024, I'll know that's whenever I got started on my magnolia tree. And then I went inside, and I ordered from Walmart, of all places, 2 little magnolia trees. I decided whenever I was ordering that there was another place in the backyard where I can put another one, and it will block the view of traffic going down the main road. All right, my friends, I have really enjoyed my day. I hope you've enjoyed your eclipse day, and you've got a great story. There's something memorable about it for you too. Come here, baby girl. Come here. Yes, girl. There we go. I'm just going to let her pant right here in my arms and get it on video because this is kind of special. She doesn't let me do this much. My friends, thanks for being here and encouraging me and watching the videos. Sharing them, liking them, subscribing means the world to me. Take care.